What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into my 5th MMA diary. This one's going to be a little different. As you can see, I'm on UFC Undisputed 3 instead of EA UFC because EA UFC does not have either Ben Rothwell or Josh Barnett. So I checked this game and it has Ben Rothwell but not Josh Barnett. So we're going to be previewing the Fox January 30th card, headlined by Rumble and Bader, by fighting with Ben Rothwell. So, you know, I've only played this game for maybe like an hour or two. So I'm just gonna go to beginner and just slug it the fuck out because why not get a win for once, you know? So I'm going to be previewing this Fox card coming up. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Bellator card. I ended up not watching the World Series of Fighting, which was last Saturday. I have it on my DVR, but I just never got around to it. Who kind of looks like what's his face? Like Josh Barnett. You know, Brendan Schaub doesn't look like Josh Barnett, but I'm gonna do it because I don't like Brendan Schaub, and I can just kick his ass with Ben Rothwell. Okay. Let's do. It's in Newark, New Jersey, so I'm not sure if there's any. Madison Square Garden? Huh. Bell Center's in Toronto, right? Yeah, we'll just do the Madison Square Garden venue. That's close enough. And whatever referee, I don't really care. So, this card features, in order, Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Ryan Bader, Josh Barnett versus Ben Rothwell, Uri Alcantara versus Jimmy Rivera, Sage Northcutt versus our late replacement Barbina, I think, Bob Barbina or something like that, I'm not really sure. Tarek Safadine versus Jake Ellenberger, Olivier Aubin Mercier versus Pereira, Kevin Casey versus Rafael Natal, Dustin Ortiz versus Wilson Reese, and George Sullivan versus Alex Yakovlev. At least those are all the fights that I find interesting, and those are the ones I'm going to pick.
And we saw him knock out two of his opponents on his
George Sullivan versus Alexander Yakovlev. I'm picking Yakovlev. You know, just sort of a gut feeling. Not really familiar a lot with. I don't distinctly remember either of them, but I know that Yakovlev has a win over Paul Daly and Gray Maynard, and I know Gray Maynard is not who he used to be, but that's still a name, so I'm going to pick him. Dustin Ortiz versus Wilson Reese, I'm not really sure. I'm picking Ortiz. That should be a good fight. And Kevin Casey versus Rafael Natal. That's also a pretty good fight. I'm picking Natal, though. Kevin Casey, you feel kind of bad for him. I think his last fight got stopped because of a nasty eye poke. But Rafael Natal. Olivia Aubin Mercier versus Pereira. I'm not pretty sure. I'm picking Aubin Mercier because I think that guy's legit. Tarek Safadine versus Jake Ellenberger. Jake Ellenberger lost four of his last five fights. He fought Rory McDonald, Robbie Lawler, Kelvin Gastelum, and Wonderboy Thompson, and that's a hell of a fucking 4 losses. I mean, you can't really fault him for that. Tarek Safadine used to be the Strike Force welterweight champion, I think. I'm not sure if he moved up or moved down a weight class since he came to the UFC, but he hasn't looked too hot in his UFC. I think he's only fought in one fight, and that was against Rory McDonald. So it's not like he has a huge record in the UFC. But I also looked at his Strikeforce opponents, and none of them really popped off the page. So I'm picking Ellenberger. I'm not sure if he's favored or not in this fight. It should be a pretty close fight. I'm excited for it. But I think Ellenberger's going to have a decision win. Sage Northcutt versus the Barbina guy. Northcutt all the way. I'm not really sold on Northcutt, but I don't think you can really take a guy on a few days' notice and then put him in there. Uriel Contra versus Jimmy Rivera. Uriel Contra is a hell of a good fighter, but I'm picking Jimmy Rivera in front of his home crowd. He's from New Jersey. I think that should also be a really good fight. And then I'll go into... Oh, fuck. I knew I was not... I'm sorry, I knew I wasn't on the right controller thing. What a waste of time, eh? There we go. That's right now. Uriel Contra versus Jimmy Rivera is underrated. Is an underrated fight. I'm thinking that that could be fight of the night. So Josh Barnett versus Big Ben Rothwell. I'm pretty excited for it. I think that it should end with a knockout. I thought that Roy Nelson versus Josh Barnett would definitely end with a knockout. I think that went 5 rounds. I think Josh Barnett dominated Roy Nelson like terribly, like a pimp. He just like took him out. And Big Ben Rothwell, I'm a believer in his comeback. I think that guy's charismatic as hell all of a sudden, and I'm really hoping for him to get past Barnett and work his way to a title shot. Because how fun would it be if Big Ben Rothwell was a title holder? So that's more of a going with my heart rather than with my head. Because Josh Barnett, that dude's a legend.
Is brought to you
an absolute legend.
Powered by Science, the official.
You know, it should end with a knockout, so I'm thinking they'll both tough it out through the first and end it in either the second or the third. But Josh Barnett, that guy's so good. I know, I'm rambling now, but I'm going with Big Ben Rothwell. That's just a gut feeling. And with my heart. Rumble versus Bader. I think this fight is going to be a lot closer than people think. I mean, Rumble, he's got dynamite in his fist.
Big Ben Rothwell.
You can't really ever count Rothwell out of a fight, but
Oh, nice left and a right. Both guys staying in tight.
Whoa, hello.
And now he's answered. Some vicious kick. That one dropped him. He's hurt. He's hurt. He's in full guard. Passes. Moves into half guard. Good transition. Transitions to the full mount. He's got his arm trapped, and he's got the other arm trapped in between the legs. Back to full mount. Schaub has really opened up, Mike. That is a big cut. That's all right. He's got one arm trapped. He's got them both trapped.
I can't hold that position for some reason. That kind of sucks.
Into half guard. And mount again. Oh, good hip escape from the bottom. Moved into half guard.
You know, let's stand this up.
He's isolating an arm. He's got a Kimura. Great submission defense. Oh, he's out of it.
Shit.
Nicely done. Body shot. Oh! Under 2 minutes remains. Boom.
But
big right hand.
I know that I'm totally stopped talking just now because I don't want to lose on beginner difficulty. I forget how you stand up though.
Oh, and again! He loves throwing that punch. Pushing his opponent away. Oh, good counter. Quick hands.
How fun is that? You just fucking
he stunned him,
leveling dudes.
Oh, big right hand. He's down. Oh!
Alright. This game feels really good for just pummeling the shit out of dudes.
Big Ben Rothwell. With
so, like I was saying, Rumble, you can never count him out of a fight. But I know he knocked out Jimmy Manuwa after his devastating loss to Daniel Cormier, but I can't get that Cormier loss out of my head. Like, it was terrible. All Cormier did was take him down and just stay on the whole fight. He could never get to his feet. He caught Cormier with that one shot that sent him flying backwards, and I thought it was going to be stopped there, but I think if Bader can weather a storm like that, he can do exactly what Cormier did to him. So I think it might be a little crazy to say, but I'm actually going to go with Bader. I don't know why. Bader is like, he's really good, but he's not the top tier. Like, he's not a Gustafsson, he's not a Cormier, he's not a Jones. If he can get by Rumble, he can enter that tier. And who the hell knows, maybe he can actually get a title run. Don't get me wrong, I love Rumble. He's the only MMA fighter who I have any apparel with. Like, I bought his Rumble shirt because it looks awesome, it looks rad. I really like Rumble. I think it'd be awesome to see him knock out cans for the rest of his career. Jimmy Manuwa's not a can. Gustafsson's not a can. But just fucking the way he just throws it.
Big shots! He's hurt! He got blasted, but it looks like he snapped back pretty quickly. And he's hurt.
I'm pretty excited for this fight night card.
Oh, he recovers. Mixing it up. Oh, he's rocked.
I don't know why, but I just do not like Brendan Schaub.
He's down. That's it. It's all over.
He's such a prick. I don't know. So yeah, I think that Rumble vs. Bader fight's gonna be way closer than people think, but I'm gonna pick Bader. It says in my notes here that I was picking Rumble, and I made these notes on like Monday or Tuesday, but you know what? I'm talking myself into Bader.
As soon as he had him hurt, he just took it.
I think if you're a gambling man, and if you don't, like, I'm kind of a gambling man, but I don't throw any real money at it. I think I would throw like $50 on Bader and get a return. That's worthwhile. So once again, here's my winners. I'm picking Rumble, Rothwell, Rivera, Northcutt, Ellenberger, Albin, Mercier, Natal, Ortiz, and Yakovlev. I feel pretty good about all that. But who knows? You know, it's fighting. You can win or lose any night against anyone. Look at Matt Serevers, George St. Pierre, for God's sake. So some other news and notes here that I have. This is going to be a kind of a short one because I've been putting this off long enough, so I figured I'll just do it right now. So, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to turn just a CPU fight on, because who gives a shit? And I'm going to go over the rest of my news for the week. The Spike card, kind of really a flat card. You know, there's a Tricky Pitbull, I think's fighting, and then Paul Daly are basically the only real names. Let's do Husimar Paharis, that dirtbag. So, now that I got this on autopilot here, the biggest news of the week by far is Cain Velasquez pulling out of 196, and then the very next day Fabricio Verdum pulls out of it after Stipe agreed to step in and save the fight for the title. Verdum pulls out because he says he's also hurt, that his foot's jacked up and he has a back injury. Cain Velasquez's back is just totally jacked. Like, I heard what's his name? Luke Rockhold. He's a training partner at AKA with them, with Cain and Cormier, and he said that he doesn't have like any sort of lower back support. Like, his spine is basically all jacked up, and that he train and fight the way he used to. He has to sort of change the way he's doing it. And, you know, you feel kind of bad for Cain Velasquez because he could have been so good, but I think he trained himself to death, and now I think his career's on the downslide, to say the least. Like, I'd be very surprised if he had more than a couple years left in him.
Where it really looks like he can do anything.
But you feel so bad for Stipe because I was talking about it in one of my other diaries that Stipe is going to get overlooked for a title shot because Alistair Overeem, he's going to renegotiate his contract with UFC and demand a title fight. So he's going to have to wait for Fabricio to fight Cain, or he was going to, and then he was going to have to wait for that winner to fight Alistair. And then who knows if some other candidate makes himself available to be the top contender. So I feel bad for Stipe and all this. I think it was really ballsy of him to step up on 2 weeks' notice to get into that fight.
Oh, he's got the mount.
And I think it's kind of a weird move for Verdum to pull out after Cain pulls out, saying that he would have fought Cain if even with the injuries, but since Cain's pulling out because of injuries, he doesn't want to fight a guy on 2 weeks' notice. You know, it's a smart thing to do in all reality. That's what John Jones did with shoot, who was he supposed to fight? I forget who he was supposed to fight, but Jones pulled out because Chael Sonnen was accepting the fight on like a very short notice, but he didn't want to fight him, so it's kind of the same thing. They're not canceling the card, which is a nice surprise. They're removing 196 from the title, and they're just moving the entire card to FS1, with Hendricks and Wonderboy Thompson being the headliners now. That's such a nice thing to do.
Very nice. Good defense.
Like, I'm so glad I'm not gonna have to spend $60 on a card headlined by Hendricks and Wonderboy. It's not that great of a card to begin with, but I probably still would have paid for it. So thankfully, all I have to do is just watch it on FS1 and enjoy my $60 elsewhere. Ariel Helwani said that Diaz vs. Pettis almost happened as the main event, and that Bones Jones vs. Stipe at heavyweight also was close, but the terms couldn't be set. Johnny Bones Jones at heavyweight versus Stipe Miocic would have been so awesome, man. That would have been such a great fight. And then Diaz actually offered to fight Pettis, but the money wasn't right, and Diaz is getting kind of gypped on his contract. He's getting 20 and 20 for a win. So 40,000. That's chump change for what Diaz can actually draw. So that kind of sucks. Another fight, I think it's the same fight, or it's the same card that's headlined by Jacare and Vitor Belfort. I'm not positive, but it's in Brazil. But Damian Maia versus Matt Brown is set for that, or set for events in Brazil. That's an awesome fight. I'm really excited for that fight. That's a great fight. That's going to be a really good card if that's not a pay-per-view, if that's just an FS1 or
here we see that exchange that ended in a
FOX card.
Takedown.
I would be very happy because those two fights, that's almost pay-per-view worthy. So that happened. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson is going to happen again. The third time it's been scheduled, I think. It's going to happen in April on a Fox card. That's pretty. That's an awesome fight. I'm really looking forward to that. Paul Daly was also on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, and he was talking shit about Koscheck pulling out against. They're both fighting like kind of no-name dudes. I'm not sure why Koscheck pulled out. Paul Daly was saying that he's faking these minor injuries because he doesn't want to lose and look bad. He just wants to get the money fight with him and Paul Daly. Yeah, I'm picking Paul Daly by knockout, devastating knockout, as always. In the Bellator fight, I'm not even sure who he's fighting honestly. I didn't even look at the fight card. I looked at it, but it was just a fleeting glance to see if I knew any other names. And like I said, Patricky put Pitbull's on there. So my last item of the day is that Rafael dos Anjos Conor McGregor press conference. That's pretty awesome what Conor McGregor was doing He's kind of a dick. He's kind of totally a dick, and I feel kind of bad for Rothwell dos Anjos, but he's totally in his head, you can tell. Rothwell dos Anjos even admitted that he was in his head, and that he's going to use that as to his benefit, but I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
Inside leg kick.
Yeah, Conor McGregor dressing as El Chapo.
Both guys staying in tight.
Pure gold, that photo with Conor McGregor extending his hand, and Rothwell dos Anjos just looking pissed. It's so good. Conor McGregor's on the next level. I thought he was all hype when they fed him to Dennis Siver, or when they fed Dennis Siver to him in Boston before he got his title fight. I thought that was a travesty. I think Dennis Siver's a total joke, and I know he beat Max Holloway. You can't take that away from him. Max Holloway's legit, and he beat Dustin Poirier, who is also legit. But having him fight Dennis Siver for the title, or for the #1 contender, was a terrible move. He totally brought down Conor McGregor's value in my eyes. And then what does he do? He goes out and beats fucking Chad Mendes and Jose Aldo. So, you know, he's 100% legit in my eyes now. And I love his antics. I thought he was great on The Ultimate Fighter. I can't wait for him to fight in Dublin in the future eventually. That's going to be an amazing experience. I might, no, you can't, you know, I was going to say I might even fly over there to go see that, but it's going to be sold out in seconds. And it's just going to be thousands of Irish fans just going crazy. It's going to be such a fun thing to watch when it does happen.
Let's check out some of the action from that round, Mike.
Anything else exciting happened
just a beautiful
recently
slip and counter
that I want to put in my diary?
Right here. You can see all it takes is one opening and bang. And here
no, I don't think so.
Nasty counter strike, just so perfectly
one little piece of housekeeping here at the end is that next week
in that round, Mike.
I'm going to be doing a post-fight review of the night between the Rumble and Vader card, and then I'm also going to be doing a preview for the fight night now headlined by Hendricks and Wonderboy. So that might be actually kind of a long video, but yeah, I think that's all I have. So I hope you enjoyed this little switch up here with Undisputed 3 instead of EA UFC. EA UFC 2 is coming out, I think in April, so let's see if this fight ends here. Look at that, Anderson Silva won with some punches to the back of the head. So, look at that, how we put a little bow on it just now, we put a little bow on it. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.